Hello!
No, let's do that. No. This is gonna scare the people.
What? Why?
Let's do it again and do it in sync.
Yes. Okay. Hello! We are
Annie and Konstantin.
and you're watching another episode of
Updates.
coming to you not from the box, but from Annie's sofa because
I'm wearing yellow, so...
she's wearing yellow and we have constructed a monster because we actually are shooting the second episode of the Depression Anxiety Life Hacks.
And it's gonna be a good one.
Something like that.
Man, I missed having you in the frame.
So as you see, united again.
Hooray!
And you also saw we're back at it.
Yes, we shot, a few scenes of the new Depression and Anxiety Life Hacks today. It always takes a little while to get back into the groove, but it's incredibly fun to be working again. And it's really fun to be working with pretty decent equipment.
So thanks again, dear verfasste Studentenschaft. You guys rock.
Yes, you're the best.
Yeah, as you remember, I have been on a little vacation the last 2 weeks, and I've brought you something. I have brought you an epiphany. I'd like to welcome you to a very special epiphany. Very special in the way that it is coming directly to you from the rooftops, more or less the rooftops of Tel Aviv. The motive that has been running through my head lately is some sort of a military one. That is the way I pick my battles. Obviously you don't pick all your battles. Some of them you have to fight. But not all of them. From some you can walk away. Some you can resolve without fighting. And some you have to fight. Somehow I came to think that I tend to pick uphill battles. And I can't be more specific on that. It's just a gut feeling that oftentimes I make my life harder than it has to be. And I'm not sure how I'm going to tackle this upon my return, but I think my epiphany is that you have to choose your battles wisely, and it's not a bad thing to think about them. Maybe uphill battle is not always the best solution, even if it seems a heroic one, because trying to be heroic for the point of being heroic, it's kind of dumb. Again, there is nothing I can give you with that where I can put my finger on it, but it's a thing I've been pondering the last days. And see you next week in brighter image quality, I hope.
Oh, so what you're saying is you're copping out of your epiphany.
Yes, because I already have one. It's your turn for an epiphany.
How do I match that epiphany? It's like you're in the frickin' Holy Land saying smart things.
Semi-smart things.
Semi-smart things. You were tired. And I'm sitting here like this is normal boring person who hasn't traveled at all.
Exactly, and that's why we're going to focus on her even more. Happy now?
No. This is not what I was asking for. I think what I've been thinking about most this week has been the whole idea of progress. And this epiphany comes at you in two parts. Part one, because progress is such a gradual thing, it's really, really hard to tell how much progress you've actually made until you have a direct comparison to an earlier experience of the same nature. So for me, it's the Depression Anxiety Life Hacks shooting. You know, I have 3 instances now of shooting the Depression and Anxiety Life Hacks, and it's been getting easier and easier every time. I can focus more, it's getting easier to find the right tone, to, get set up, to do what I want to do and be okay with it. And even when it takes longer, it's a whole lot less frustrating than it was before. So it's really fun to have these moments, these recurring sort of things where you can actually compare what it was like before to actually see the progress you've made. Which leads directly to the second part, which is that progress is not a linear sort of thing. So here a couple days ago I had a really hard day, just a really, really hard day that felt a whole lot like, 6 months ago or even longer, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, why am I back here? How did I get here? What happened to all, the progress I made in between? I was so much further already. And it's really, really hard in that moment to remember that progress is not linear and that you will have setbacks that aren't really setbacks so much as just a bad day. And sometimes you do regress, a tiny bit, but you never regress completely. So having a bad day, having a bad week is totally okay because you do get back to where you were before in the whole, progression of progress. Progression of progress. And that is something that I think we all know, kind of, but we totally forget in the moment where it isn't working. And I think this goes for mental health things, but also for just about anything else. You're in learning any skill, in acquiring anything. This comes up in language learning a lot, because you just don't use the language for a while, so you've forgotten all of it, and you just feel like you're just back to not knowing anything, and then you end up speaking the language again, and it just comes back super quickly, and it's really exciting every time. But it doesn't go away. It still stays there. It's just kind of, dusty in the back of your mind. So this is what we learned this week. That, first of all, progress is kind of hard to spot unless you have a good comparison sort of thing. And progress isn't linear. It's a tricky sort of system. But it does generally move upward. It does move upward, is the point. Is all of my point. This is going to be a nightmare to edit again. I don't know why I'm still not better at speaking. This is what I haven't learned about editing. By my count, I'm 2 epiphanies ahead of you.
No.
Yes. Yes, I am.
That's not how it works.
No, I'm saying I'm still going to do an epiphany, obviously. I'm just saying I'm 2 epiphanies ahead of you. This is a thing you're going to have to live with. Me being ahead of you in, wisdom by 2 full epiphanies.
Well, I think I will be totally comfortable with me being 1 year ahead with a master's degree.
I beat you senseless. I just need to put down my glass of orange juice.
You provoked this.
What?
I told you, no more uphill battles. Sometimes I'm just going to pick the low road and use the
So
downhill
you're saying
battles.
you don't want to fight me anymore?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying,
Hi.
yes. Yes. Hey!